Hi guys, welcome. Stacy Tushel here. We are talking about short-term versus long-term strategy. So, right now I'm going to be sharing what strategy we are specifically implementing in both of my businesses, whether it's our brick and mortar performing arts academies or our online consulting business. I'm going to be talking about the pros and cons to short-term and long-term strategy. And then I'm going to be sharing a few mistakes that I am seeing business owners making right now when they are setting their plan, setting their strategy, all of that stuff. Okay. So, first of all, I really want you to understand that this is not an either or situation. There is not a right or wrong answer of you should be doing short term or you should be doing long term. You have to understand that you need a mix of both of these, a balance of both of these to make sure your business sustains itself, right? Who cares if your business makes it through the next 90 days if you are not going to be here a year from now, right? Do you see how that, if anything, you don't even want your business to make it through the next 90 days if you're not going to be here a year from now. Like, why go through all of this stress if you're not going to be here long term? So I want to share with you the balance of finding that short term versus long term. So first of all, I had a client actually say to me in the beginning of all of this, so maybe a month or so ago, and she actually said, she was talking to some friends and she said, we feel the academy is making short-term decisions and not looking at this long-term. And we appreciate the feedback, right? We're here to listen. We're here to help educate as well. And one of the things I had to say back to her was, if we don't make some of these short-term moves, we will not be here long-term, right? A lot of people were dropping, I shouldn't say a lot. We were at 95% retention 30 days in. But as they were dropping, they were saying things like, we'll be back in September. Like, thank you. So sorry. We'll be back in September. And really, we kept thinking we may not be here in September. Now, yes, in my head, I'm a very positive person. I'm taking action like crazy, taking massive action. I know I will be here in September, but I want people to see how if you don't make the right moves right now, you may not be here in September, right? I actually had a client today tell us that they're considering closing their small business, that they don't believe they're going to make it through, and it might not be worth the fight. Like, it might not be worth going into debt, having all of these other things happen. And I get it. I understand that some people will not be continuing, right? So again, there is a mix to that. You have to be thinking short term and long term. Now, you don't want to get through this short term and do something that will affect your retention later on. So I get that part. I definitely don't want to be doing anything just to get me through the next 30 days if I don't believe that, or if I think that I'm going to be turning off clients, making them upset, making them angry. You want to make sure that every single person that leaves you right now, that takes a break, that hits pause, that says they'll be back, you want to end on the absolute best terms you possibly can. I believe that this situation, the way that small business owners are responding, right, the way that we react, will cause you to retain and get the support of your people, or it will totally turn them off to think, I'm never coming back here ever again. How many of you have already had an experience where you're thinking, I will never go back to that business? I, for one, can say I have had that. I have seen people that I am paying to go, wow, this is definitely, I'm surprised by the way that they've handled this, right? Businesses saying things like, well, we're not actually going to be checking our email or taking phone calls right now. We're completely closed and we cannot serve you. I'm like, how are you not checking your email? You're off of work. Your doors are closed. You can do it from home. What do you mean you're not checking your email daily, right? There's so many things that people can do right now that will make or break the loyalty with your business, okay? Be careful, because what you do today will affect your tomorrow. Whether that's a positive effect or a negative effect, it is going to affect it, okay? So moral of the story is you have to think short term and long term for all of your planning, all right? So every time we are setting a new strategy, we are talking about what next month looks like or this summer looks like, we are asking ourselves, where does that put us today? And where does that put us 6 months from now, a year from now, right? I don't know how long term you want to go out and think, but for us, we want to just at least focus on what is this look like when it gets back to normal, right? And for us, we are definitely going, how does our September look? For us, I'm a seasonal 10-month business. Yes, we have classes year round, but a bulk of our income comes from September through June. So for me, I need to look at that transition from summer into our September, because where we start in September really will dictate the rest of the year. So I want you to be thinking about that in your business specifically, okay? So with this balance, I want you to ask yourself, okay, if we do this, what is a pro and con in the short term? Then the next step is, what is the pro and con in the long term? Start to do that every time you make a major decision. We are acting quickly, but even though we're acting quickly, we're doing a few things. So we are talking with our customers. We're getting feedback before we ever publicly announce it. You know, if somebody makes a suggestion like, we think you should give a discount for this, our staff is trained to respond back and say, thank you for your suggestion. If you want to give more details or you want to share like what amount you were thinking about or anything, all of this is super helpful for us as we take it back to our leadership team and make final decisions. So when we hear people say things like, if you gave us 50% off, or if you did this, or if you did that, we start to go, okay, we see where the market is. We see what they're expecting, what they're needing, what they're hoping for, and we're going to be able to make better decisions, right, than whatever we decide we're going to do without getting that market research. So it's kind of like when you go to negotiate something, what do they say? Never give out the number first, right? Always let them talk first so you know what they're thinking, and then you can respond or counteract. So for instance, let's say you've decided you want to give discounts out, or you want to do something because it's not the same experience as to what they're getting. If you're thinking 25% would be great, and in the customer's eyes, they're thinking that's an insult, right? Like, I can't even believe you're only considering this percentage. We are expecting 50% or whatever number they come up with. Letting them give you their suggestions or their input first will help you stop making these mistakes that are actually making people even more upset. So again, what can you be doing for market research? How can you be asking them? All of that, okay? Now, looking at this short-term, long-term strategy, I want you to ask yourself, like, let's say the example is, okay, if we do X, it will bring us in a cash flow boost right now. But then later, that'll be short-term strategy. But then later, what does that look like? Did you just take in that money that you would have taken in July, right? And all of a sudden you're comping or getting credits. A lot of people are saying, at least in my area, we've seen people say, we're not charging for April, but then we'll give you a credit in July or whatever we can get back open. So when you're making decisions like that, you have to really assess, okay, well, we're not bringing in the money now. Can I even afford that? Some businesses can't. And then I'm seeing people copying strategies for a strategy that might work okay in a business that has cash flow, right? But then if you copy that strategy and you don't have cash flow, you're hurting yourself. So be really, really careful that you are not copying people. Even if you're looking at me and you're like, oh, I saw she did this, I'm going to do this too. I might be able to do something because my bank account looks different than somebody else's, right? Or we have something going on behind the scenes with stimulus or any of that you may or may not know about. So you've got to be really careful that you aren't copying outside strategies from other people, whether it's competitors, other industries, right? Other businesses, when you don't know if they have the capability or not. Their short-term and long-term strategy is most likely going to be very different than yours unless you're comparing apples to apples, and most of us are not, okay? All right, so be careful with the strategies you are making. I will confess that I made this one strategy. I shared it today. If you're in Foot Traffic Formula, I recorded a video for you guys today. It'll be uploaded soon, and I actually share, like, I think I totally messed this up. Here's what we did. I don't think it was good. I think I kind of hurt myself here, and I won't really actually see the effect of it for about 2 more months. But I did give a heads up because I'm always super honest with my students because I want them to see, like, maybe don't do this, right? And I want to share with you, like, we're making decisions fast, but we don't know if it's the right one. You don't know. We're doing the best we can, and you won't know until we're in the process of this more, or we're getting through this and we're on the other side. I will say a little takeaway that I want you to understand is a lot of people are saying and predicting that this will come back. There will be another round of the COVID-19, right? So knowing that that is a possibility, this is not just a little quick short term, the doors are closed. This might be, how do we get back to this next year? What do we do when this happens? And learn from what you just did. I already have a list down of the things I think we did well that we will do again. And I definitely have a list of, let's not do that. This was definitely not something I would recommend, and I'm not going to do that way next time, right? So we are creating a system, a document of what next time will look like. Now, if you're thinking, I can't believe she's creating a system, I hope this doesn't come back. For us, why would we not document it fresh in our minds, the pros, the cons, what worked, what did it now, then in December? Let's say it comes back in December. This is where I get very nervous with people. When I'm at a recital and I'm in it for 2 days, like 12 hours, right? Back-to-back recitals. We are jotting down every single thing that pops up. Like, oh, we can't do this. We should do it this way. Ooh, this would be more efficient. That would be better. Somebody made the suggestion. Let's do it, right? We're writing it in real time, because even leaving the recital 2 days later, I've completely forgotten most of my ideas, right? So if you're thinking, well, when it comes back in 6 months or whenever, I'll figure it out again, or we'll remember. You won't remember. We are moving so fast, you guys. I don't even know what month we're in. Like yesterday, I'm like, wait, what? We're in April, May? What is happening? That's how I feel. And I think a lot of you feel the same way. If you think you're going to remember the pros, the cons, what worked, what didn't, your strengths, your weaknesses, 6 months from now, when we're back in freak out mode, it's a bad idea. So I want you to keep track of the short-term, long-term strategy, what's working, what's not, where you will pivot, what you will do, and then learn from other people. It doesn't have to be what you did. Be like, oh, wow, this worked well. Look at what she did over here. I'm going to try that next time if this happens. It doesn't hurt to have it documented. It will hurt if we go into this and you are back to square one trying to remember all of this stuff, okay? So I want to let you guys know, next week, Monday, I am kicking off 5 strategies for future-proofing your business. I'm going to use the foot traffic formula. I'm going to go in every single category. We're going to talk traffic, touch, transaction, tracking. We are going to be sharing case studies next week, Friday, of people that have made money throughout this recession. So we've had some people, like this morning, I just got a notification. One of our clients did a 72-hour flash sale, made $5,000. Brand new revenue coming in just from something she did this week. People like that are going to be jumping on and sharing what's working now, what they're doing specifically. So I want to make sure you are there for that. That'll be next week. Then on Saturday, I'm going to be doing a virtual happy hour with you guys, a little Q&A. You can ask me anything you want. We're going to be jumping on Zoom so we can see each other. You can actually talk to me and ask me questions. That is all happening, kicking off on Monday. You can go to stacytuschel.com/workshop, get signed up, get all of the details, all of the topics, mark your calendar, all of that good stuff. It's going to be happening in our private Facebook group. When you go to opt in at stacytuschel.com/workshop, it will prompt you to get in the Facebook group so you can get in there and then watch the trainings, and we'll start live on Monday, okay? Whew, you guys, we're getting through this. I know some of you, it's feeling better, even though my date, I don't get back to the studio as of right now until May 26th. It feels better to me knowing some of you guys in your states are getting back to it this week, next week, May 15th, because I feel like that's evidence we're heading in that direction too. So that's exciting for us to see. Unfortunately, we're closed an extra month, but we're making the most of it. Every day, I'm constantly thinking to myself, where is the opportunity here? What am I missing? What can I see? But you have to be looking to find the opportunity, right? That means there's no sitting in a pity party, complaining about this, hoping you had that. I really, really want you to be proactively looking for the opportunity. Thank you, Nicolette. She just posted the link in the comments here on Facebook, you guys. Okay, have a great rest of your day. I will see you soon, you guys. I'll be going live tonight on Instagram at 7 p.m. Central. Is that the right time? 7 p.m. Central. I'm going to be on Kelly Roach's live. She'll bring me on, and we're going to be chatting, taking your brick and mortar online and all that good stuff. So feel free to join us tonight at 7 p.m., okay? All right, guys, have a great rest of your day. I will see you